Hello, Just Too Good here. Today we're taking a look at the LEGO Movie 2 minifigure series, all 20 minifigures, which was sent to me early by LEGO, so special thanks to them. Special thanks to those who filled in for me while I was sick. I'm still recovering, and these will release around February 1st, but let's take a look at the minifigures. So here is Awesome Remix Emmet, which he has a new face print, existing torso and legs that are found in the LEGO Movie 2 sets, a new 1x2 printed tile, which says Awesome on it, and I like how it has a phone design. A reprint of the coffee cup piece in white, which is a little bit uncommon, and especially uncommon in cheap sets, so I really like getting that here. But the newest piece, and really the coolest part in my opinion, is his hair, which is a design that's dual molded and exclusive to this minifigure series. You see how that's made at the bottom. It's taking the existing Emmet hair design and then adding the headphone design to it. His face print is exclusive as well, where he has a very happy face and then an even more happier face at the back. His torso and legs, however, are the same print that's found in all, or at least most, of the LEGO Movie 2 sets that include Emmet. So here is Battle Ready Lucy. The design of this has a new piece for the hood, which is pretty elaborate because it covers the whole figure all around in terms of the head area. We also have that scarf, which is a part of the piece now, unlike in the sets where it's a separate piece, as well as the goggles, which is usually a part of Lucy's hair. Now it's just a part of this hood. So if you take that off, you can just see how much ground that really covers. Now, that's really cool that that's exclusive and everything. It's a nice hard plastic, well-made design. But everything else with the figure is just sort of reused pieces. The face print is reused from the sets. The torso is reused from those sets as well, with the side arm printing and everything. The side leg printing and the dual molded legs in general are reused from the sets, which it is nice to get all that detailing, but you couldn't have gone just with a little bit more of an exclusive design to set her apart, because really the hood's the only part setting her apart. Even her accessories kind of lame, which are just these gray binoculars. Oh, and if you're wondering how she looks once you remove the quiver, well, at the back, she does have some torso printing right there. So for Battle Ready Benny, this is the cheapest way to get Benny with the metal arm, which is kind of neat because that arm piece is kind of rare. It's not entirely new, though. He does have a new face print as well, where he looks really happy right there. And as an alternate, which honestly, I really like that face right there. It's kind of badass. Like, he looks like he's going to kick some butt. I think that's awesome. That's new, and this toolbox is the only other exclusive part because with the little space logo print on there, it's exclusive. But the torso and the air tanks and everything, which no, there's no back torso printing. And even the chipped helmet comes in a lot of other sets. And maybe if Benny's Space Quad didn't exist, I would be more down for this because it would be a really cheap way to get Benny. But let's be honest, a lot of us are getting like 1 billion of Benny's Space Quad already. So here is a Giraffe Guy, and I have to give credit where credit's due because I think LEGO did a really good job with this figure. Yes, I usually don't like costume figures that don't have an actual counterpart in LEGO. We haven't gotten a giraffe this detailed, which is kind of a problem in LEGO. So it's weird that he's dressing up as one. But how they did the cool yellow here and just the orange is so detailed, with spots all the way around, where you even have spots on the side of his legs, his arms right there. At the bottom little chin right here, it's very, very detailed, and I like that. This headpiece, which is so specific, is a hard plastic, thankfully, so I can easily take that off. You don't have to worry about it getting damaged. You can kind of see how it's made right there. And if you go to his alternate face, which it is kind of nice that they put 2 face prints on here, he has a smile, and his dual molded legs, I really like how they did the boots, or you can look at them as giraffe feet. And they even gave you an extra of his accessory, which is something that this minifigure series is doing, where they're including extras of certain small pieces. So you get 2 of this newer piece from the LEGO Harry Potter minifigure line, which is just really a little thing of grass, I guess, for the giraffe to eat if he was actually a giraffe. So here is Cran Girl, which the design of this is a purple crayon costume person, which the crayon has some flowers on it as well. I'm sure this is relevant to the movie or whatnot, but would have liked a LEGO crayon piece because they have this really cool drawing right here. I love this. It's adorable, of just a minifigure profile, but there's no crayon for her to draw it with unless you actually use her body as a crayon. So I guess you want to imagine that, but maybe if they put a crayon piece, a totally new piece that would be more useful than this crayon outfit piece, you would have a way to put this in different settings. But again, if you're creative enough, I'm sure you could find a way. I do like her face print, which is pretty adorable right there. I do like her dual molded legs as well, which is good to get in that coloring. We also have an alternate face right here, which is, again, something that's really nice with this series. There's a lot of alternate faces. You can see how that looks with the crayon outfits on. This is Miss Scratchen-Post and Scarfield, which Miss Scratchen-Post, of course, was in the first collectible minifigure Lego movie series. So it's kind of funny as a callback there, but she was also a character who appeared in the movie. Now she has an Apocalypseburg outfit with some nice side arm and leg printing that I really like, which the legs aren't dual molded, but you do have a little strip of yellow there. Her face print is also pretty hilarious, where she has like a bandana and whiskers. Her torso is pretty funny for what it is because she is so old, but she's battle ready like a lot of the other characters in the series. It's a nice way to get this hair in gray again, that light gray. But really the star is Scarfield. They took the regular Lego cat piece and they added a mohawk to it and a collar with spikes on it. That's incredible. I mean, that just looks awesome, and it looks hilarious for what it is. So, nice pun, and also a very nice minifigure for Scarfield. Here is Hula Lula, which the design of this is one of the 4 band members of this series. I don't like the color scheme on her. They use spring green for the torso, which is all right, but then they use this lime green for the hair, which just looks pretty ugly, with the pink at the end. Which I guess it's nice to get this hair piece with a little bit of printing because it makes it look a little bit more unique. But still, I don't know, the colors just aren't very attractive to me for a Lego minifigure piece, even though it is new. We do have this new disc right here, or a vinyl record, which I really like how that came out. That looks cool. The little mic right here is something that all the band members have in the same color. And we have an alternate face as well, where she looks a little bit more sincere, I guess. But the front... it's not too much of a difference there, so I don't know why they took the time to really do an alternate face with such minuscule difference. Oh, and if you remove her felt skirt, you can see she actually has some pretty nice printing on her legs, which that's useful for bathing suits, though they do have those little sandals as well, so maybe she could be on the beach this way. Here's Watermelon Dude, which the design of this is pretty hilarious for what it is, because it's just so pointless. Like, why are you wearing a watermelon outfit? And, you know, I'm all about usability and stuff like that, but whatever. I've just given up with that argument now. I just take these as they may. And this one will probably be reused as a pizza slice guy eventually. What I do like is that this is an actual Lego piece. Like, it's based off of the watermelon piece that he has right here, which were printed just for this series, but they match, so that's pretty interesting. They have done watermelon pieces before, but not with that color. His face print underneath is nice glasses, but if you don't want to use those sunglasses, he has a pretty generic face at the back, which, again, nice that they included the option for 2 faces. I also like how they have these it's dual molded sleeves right here with the dark green that's useful, as well as the dual molded legs, which are pretty colorful for what they are. So, there you go. So here's Flashback Lucy. This one's probably my favorite of the band members because not only is it a very important character, but you have this 2x3 printed tile that's really cool of the gold version of the Everything is Awesome record. So I guess Lucy helped write it, which is kind of interesting. This dark blue and this dark pink that's used is really nice. I like that color scheme. I also like the silver kind of bubbles throughout her torso. You even have some on the side of the arms and the legs, which is pretty neat. But there's also a different version of Wild Styles hair, where you have it with kind of this light blue and this dark pink. Again, not recalling the specific colors off the top of my head because I'm bad with Lego colors in general, but it's just a nice variant. And she has an alternate face where she's just singing to that, so she's really enjoying that, which is kind of funny based on how she reacted to Everything is Awesome in the first movie. Now she kind of wrote it, so that's interesting. I want to see how that plays out in the movie. Other than that, she also has this little microphone, which is present with all the other band members in the same color. So here is a swamp monster. The design of this is similar to the one from the Monster Fighters line because it's actually based off of that. I mean, that was a master builder in the first movie. This one has a bright green mask, though. The original one had a dark green mask. This one also has Apocalypseburg attire, where you have a tattoo, which is kind of funny as a torso print. And that continues to the back with the little straps. Also dual molded legs as well, which are new. The face print underneath is very similar to the one from Monster Fighters, which gotta remove that mask, but it has kind of a creepy look, and even some printing at the back, which wasn't necessary, but very appreciated. I just wish it was a more interesting figure overall, especially since his accessory is just a reddish brown whip, and it's easy to get that whip in reddish brown in general because that's the most common color that piece comes in. It comes in over, I think, 20 sets at this point. This one is Candy Wrapper. I actually like this one with Flashback Lucy because the design of it looks like a piece of candy. There's a nice color scheme to her where it's pink and white, which I think is a pretty good color combination. Even got some silver, for example, the exclusive printed hairpiece with a little silver star there. Also, this nice light pink stripe at the little curl right there. I like her accessory, which is a 1x2 printed cassette, which looks really cool. I like how the A might signify everything is awesome. We'll have to see in the movie. Also, her torso is neat that it kind of connects with her little tutu piece, which has some really dynamic printing there. I like that with the yellow line at the end. Very good job on Lego's part. But if you remove that, you could get a better look at her legs, which are dual molded as well. And her alternate facial expression is a little bit more, I guess, neutral than the one at the front. It's not winking this time around, but it still looks pretty adorable. This next minifigure is Gone Golfin President Business, which is pretty awesome because President Business doesn't appear in any of the regular sets. So this is a really easy way for people who missed out on the first movie sets to get him, which in the first movie sets he wasn't really easy to get besides the CMF series. He does have this very, very useful new golf club piece, which I love how that is designed, even with a little bit of detailing at the bottom there. Also with some detailing on this side as well, up to the handle. There's a nice torso and leg print as well with the checkerboard design. He has a happy face on one side and then an even happier face on the other side, which looks a little bit more sincere. I also like the return of his ridiculous headpiece because I could always use extras of those, and the first Lego movie series came around when I didn't have too much money to spare on extra minifigures, so it's going to be a joy getting more of these. This one is Apocalypse Abe, which is freaking crazy. I mean, it's Abe Lincoln in a steampunk / post-apocalyptic design where they made an entirely new piece, which was similar to the Series 1 Abe Lincoln's hair hat combo, except now there's goggles at the top. It has a great torso and leg design where they actually have printed Lego skulls on there, which I really like. If you don't like that facial expression, well, this one's a little bit more sincere. I don't know. It's just kind of weird that this is an actual president in like 100 to 200, 300 years in the future. Will they have a Lego minifigure series that has like an apocalypse Donald Trump, an apocalypse Obama? Like, it's Abe Lincoln. I don't even know. It's just crazy to me, just thinking about the implications here. But that is it for Abe. Oh, he also comes with his axe, of course, because he's not going to chop down wood, but probably going to chop some Lego minifigures in half or something. So this minifigure is Best Friend Rex, or a Cowboy Rex, if you want to look at it that way. The design of this has a totally new hair hat combo, which is actually really detailed in its dual molding, where you even have all these just ridges at the back of the head right there. So I really like how that came out. It's actually a piece that would be perfect for the Lego Overwatch McCree. We'll look at it later with that on, but it's not in the same colors as McCree, so that's kind of a shame. Now, if you take that off, you can get a better look at his face, which I like the face print here. It's pretty cocky. It is similar to the Lego Movie Maker Rex, however. And if you look at the back, he has another smile right there. Also included is a baby Rex. Sorry, baby raptor. Sorry, his name is Rex. What do you expect? Of course I wouldn't mix them up. But the design of this is from the Lego Movie 2 Movie Maker set, so it's not exclusive. And of course it is a repurpose of the baby T-Rex piece introduced in Jurassic World last year. Actually, maybe it doesn't fit as good as I thought it would. This character is Kitty Pop. She's the last member of the band for this series. There's a nice new guitar print, which has almost a leopard design to it. Also, her torso and her legs have a nice leopard design, which continues all the way to the side of the legs, and even the sleeves, which are dual molded. The legs are dual molded as well, which you can now take a look at this tail at the back in white, which is nice to get. The whole coloring here is actually a new coral design, which was just introduced by LEGO this year. Similar to the sand red in terms of coloring, but it's very vibrant, and it's just an interesting design. Doesn't seem like you could print too much on it, though, because this white looks pretty bad in quality on the coral. It looks very translucent in a way, which, I don't know, maybe in the future they'll get a little bit better with the printing on a color like this. Other than that, of course, she also has a microphone accessory, which was present with all the other band members. Her hairpiece is not a new piece, but rather a new color for the piece, since this is the kitty hair that we got since Series 14, I believe it was. And her alternate expression has a more neutral look that isn't opening her eyes, but she still looks very happy. So here is Dorothy Gale from The Wizard of Oz. Yeah, there's 4 Wizard of Oz characters in this series. So you don't just get the Lego Movie world, but you get the Wizard of Oz world as well. Now, this hairpiece is very cool. Like how it's this rubber. It's like a hard rubber that has these nice ridges to them, and even little bow tails at the end. Just a really well-designed piece in general. If you take that off, though, you get a look at her face, just a little bit better, and also her torso, which I love the design there. She's not using mid-legs or anything, which I guess would have made sense if in the universe, but whatever. And on the back, she has a very worried look. We can't, of course, forget Toto, which the design for Toto is adorable. They reuse a piece that was introduced in Series 16, but this time with some new printing and coloring. And it just looks perfect. I mean, this figure in general is just perfect for the characters it was trying to portray and what they have going on. Okay, let me gush about this minifigure for one more second, because the skirt was covering up the legs, and look at the legs. They have dual molding, and then they have flesh on one layer right there, and then they have the ruby slippers at the bottom, which are just excellently printed. Love how they continue all the way through, and love how they got a little bit of shine going through them. Yeah, this is probably my favorite minifigure of the series, if you were going to ask. So here is the Cowardly Lion, another Wizard of Oz figure. New main piece right here, which I really like how that came out. It's a hard plastic and just illustrates that mane very well. It's going to be useful outside of this setting, I'm sure. He also has a tail in a new color, but the design of this does have different shades of nougat and flesh, which I really like how they portrayed that character. And also, they have this 1x2 metal right here, which I would want it to be a new piece, sort of like the metal that goes with the swimmer from Series 7, I think it was. But I understand they probably want to save costs, and they already made a totally new piece for the mane. And if you remove the mane, you can actually get a look at his torso a little bit more, and his alternate face where he looks a little bit sad, but that's pretty adorable in my opinion. Here is the Scarecrow from The Wizard of Oz, which has a new hat piece that I really like. It's kind of rounded at the top. It's quite interesting. Usually you would expect a pointier top, but it is accurate for what it is, and I like that they went out of their way to make a new piece for it, even though we have a lot of these different types of hats. We do have this Certificate of Achievement as a 2x2 print. That's a nice accessory because it could be used outside the setting, but of course it's a reference to The Wizard of Oz. Other than that, we do have a face print at the front. That is pretty jolly. A nice torso and legs where the printing continues on from the torso to the legs that I really like. Pretty simple, actually, compared to some of the other minifigures of the series, but I mean, it is a perfect tribute to The Wizard of Oz, so I really like how that came out. So here is the Tin Man, of course, from The Wizard of Oz, and I love the use of the gunmetal gray coloring, as well as a silver coloring for the torso and the face, so you get a little bit of extra shine there, which looks great. Also like some of the dark gray they use for the rust, which looks interesting. You do have the clock heart right there, which is a nice use of that new 1x1 heart tile with some printing on it, some nice side arm and leg printing, and even this newer collar piece, which you can see a little bit more of that silver at the back, and that is in a new gunmetal gray color as well, so that's really cool. New piece at the top, and he also has an axe in a new color as an accessory. And finally, the last minifigure is Unikitty. I don't know if you'll consider Unikitty as a minifigure, but it's really up to the person because she's also a brick-built animal. The design of this is using the old build for her with the non-reinforcement at the neck, which in my opinion is super lame because even the Unikitty blind bags had the reinforcement at the neck where they used the stamp piece and a new piece introduced last summer for the Unikitty sets, which was an upside-down kind of reversed 1x3 plate. This one's very flimsy at the neck because it doesn't have that reinforcement. The face print is really nothing special. I mean, it's a cheery version, it's adorable, but it's not like Disco Kitty, that cute kind of business kitty from the first movie. No, it's just a regular Unikitty, which kind of lame. And they chose to change the whole bag style, presumably because of this. I mean, we might be wrong about that, but maybe I'm assuming a lot there. But yeah, that's it. So if you noticed earlier, I used the white minifigure plates as a display, and that's because in this series, they give you the minifigure plates that we usually get in black for LEGO Minifigure Series, but now in a pure white, which is really useful. I haven't got these in cheap sets before, and in my opinion, they work better than the black, so that's a nice change in my opinion. As for the design on the display box, still looks very similar. I think it's a little bit bigger, though, just to accommodate the new size of the packs. You would have like a little Wizard of Oz logo at the right here. Like how they did the yellow brick road. And then at the side you have more designs. It's that LEGO Movie 2 general design all around. Not too much at the bottom. And of course you can open it up just like this, where you could fit 3 rows of LEGO minifigure bags. For the foil packets of this series, the biggest difference is actually the size. They're taller than regular LEGO Minifigure Series bags. I mean, they've been using the same size for Minifigure Series bags since Series 1. I mean, this one's from Series 3, and this is the same size as the Harry Potter series that just released in fall. So this is a big change, and the material of these is a little bit thinner than something like this bag, but also it's a little bit thicker than something like the Unikitty bag, even though this is a more similar size to the Unikitty bag. Just something to note. The checklists are also a little bit different this time around, where they're kind of folded in a square, and at the back you have just instructions on how to build it, which I guess is sort of the same. So overall, I think I like this series more that I have it built and in hand, because there's a level of detail that I didn't notice before for some characters I wasn't really a fan of. Like the Giraffe Guy, where he has all these spots all over that just look and are printed very well. Other than that, I also love the inclusion of the Wizard of Oz characters. I thought that was a really nice surprise where each of them, even if you don't appreciate the movie, they all have a new piece here or there, and they're all such different characters that you could definitely find some appreciation in the minifigures at least. And I love the level of detailing they went with some of the colors here, where you see crazy colors like coral, cool yellow, purples all over, pinks all over, and there's just a nice use of coloring there and a nice reuse of some pieces as well. My only complaints would really be that they kind of overstay their welcome with the band members and some of the variants for existing characters like Benny, that swamp monster, or that Wild Style seem a little bit less thoughtful than some of the other inclusions of existing characters. So as a whole, I do highly recommend this series. I gotta look into it more to see its ranking compared to some other series, but I think it's one of my more favorite of the movie line minifigures. Anyways, what do you guys think? Is this series great? Is it bad? Am I wrong? Am I right? Well, leave your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out.